Happy Thursday. Welcome to Valley Vision. I'm Abby Alonso. Joe Mitchell, producer. We're going to have a good show today, Joe. It's been a good day today. We got a long weekend. Gymnastics tomorrow against Arkansas. Men's basketball at 11 on Saturday against Arkansas. And the women are looking for redemption on Sunday at 1 p.m. in the PMAC. Lucky for y'all, we're going to have shows Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Loaded schedule. Speaking of those shows, if you're in Baton Rouge, swing by. We're doing game recaps for both men's and women's basketball. We'll be here hanging out at Cards and Culture in Perkins Row. And if you're of age, we will ask for IDs. Our wonderful sponsor, St. Rock Vodka from 7-3 Distilling in New Orleans, is going to be up for grabs, and we're going to do some tasting. So the vodka I keep talking to y'all about, and I tell you to go buy every show, is going to be here for you to taste before you go buy it. I promise after you taste it, you're going to want to go buy it. Remember, they are partnered with Bayou Traditions, the official collective of LSU Athletics. If you want to support the athletes we talk about all the time, this is a great way to do it. Purchase a bottle. Some of the proceeds go back to NIL. You're paying the athletes, essentially. If you want to keep championship teams here and keep winning rings, great way to support the athletes. Let's talk basketball. Like I said, live shows this weekend. I mentioned the women are looking for redemption. That would be because they fell to Mississippi State on Monday, 77-73. It is the first time LSU has lost consecutive games since the 2021-2022 season. They lost to South Carolina last week. Big upset from an unranked Mississippi State team. They are now 18-4, 5-3 in SEC play. Is it panic time? I know. Don't assume that I think it's panic time. I'm asking Joe. Joe, is it panic time?
No, I don't think so. I said on the South Carolina recap show that I wouldn't be super shocked if we dropped that game to Mississippi State.
You called it.
And I don't think that's because we're bad or worse than Mississippi State by any means, but that was a physical game. We played against South Carolina. And look, in basketball, just because you're unranked, that doesn't mean you're a bad team. Like you can be a quadrant 1 team and be unranked. And that's just how it goes. So I think Mississippi State's actually a pretty good team with some solid talent. And that was going to be a difficult game. That was kind of a trap game on the schedule following South Carolina. So not panic time, in my opinion. I think I actually really like where we stand still.
Again, a lot of people are kind of freaking out. It's not time to freak out. Kim Mulkey's going to get things together. But I do want to emphasize that the rest of the season is critical for seeding in the SEC and NCAA tournaments. So they do have to fix things quickly to continue on the trajectory that they were predicted before the season. It comes down to depth, which is something you can't fix right now, so you have to find ways to work around it. And I'm going to be honest, I think it comes down to defensive stamina. The defense has got to be tougher. You don't have enough players. You're working with, 7 in the rotation right now?
Yeah.
The stamina specifically on defense has got to get better if they want to get out of what could be a downfall and a slump here. Foul trouble was a problem against South Carolina. Angel Reese was out for the last 4 minutes of that game. We saw how that played out. But I think it comes down to defense and finishing games and just being tough the whole way through. Again, they play on Sunday. Is this, you kind of just said it, but is there a capability that this does turn into a slump?
I think there's always the potential of that. And when you're in athletics at a high level, that's always something that's on the table. I just don't think it's something that is going to happen to LSU right now at this moment.
If you're Kim Mulkey, and I asked this question on the recap show we just did again after South Carolina, but if you're Kim Mulkey, you lose 2 games in a row. What are you saying to your team right now? What is this week of practice? They have had off since, or not off, but they game Monday, game Sunday. So you've got a lot of time in between.
Yeah.
What are you focusing on? How are you fixing it? What are you saying?
Look, I said after the South Carolina game that I thought that was the two best teams in college basketball.
Yes.
You're not going to play anybody more difficult than South Carolina. I still hold that opinion. I still think LSU is one of the two best teams, despite coming off 2 losses. It's why they play the games on the court. Just because I think LSU is the second best team in the country right now, that doesn't earn them a win against Mississippi State. It's why they play the games. Anything can happen. So I would still maintain that opinion. But what Anthony said after that South Carolina game is you got to learn how to finish. And that was something that, came up in the Mississippi State game. You got to learn how to close out a game. Leading South Carolina for 38 minutes, taking the lead or being, leading Mississippi State the majority of that game and then, falling away at the end. You got to be able to play 40 minutes of basketball, and that could come down to only having 7 people that you really, see valuable minutes. But whatever the issue is, you got to be able to play 40 minutes of basketball.
Like I said, depth isn't something that you can fix right now. You have to find ways around it, and I think that's what you got to be able to finish.
Yeah.
Finish a tough game. Because SEC, that's what you're going to continue to face that. It's not going anywhere. They're going to be physical, tough games moving forward. Figure it out. Mm-hmm. Figure out how to finish it out. Again, they do play Sunday at 1 p.m. Why am I blanking on who they play?
Yeah, it's 1 p.m. Florida. So they play Florida on Sunday at 1. Men play Saturday at 11 a.m. against Arkansas. Lots of basketball. Just want to emphasize again, we had a great time recapping the South Carolina game last Thursday. We will be doing it again, not just for women's this weekend, but for men. So tune in after that. We'll go live an hour after the final buzzer. Again, if you're in Baton Rouge, swing by, have some St. Rock, and cut up with us. We had a good time for like an hour last week, huh? Late night show. These will not be late night shows. All right, moving on. Football. Senior Bowl is this weekend. LSU has center Charles Turner III and defensive tackle Jordan Jefferson both participating in that, looking to up the draft stock with the practices and that game that's Saturday at noon, right? Mm-hmm. Any thoughts on the Senior Bowl? Well,
this is our college football expert over here. So.
Expert strong.
If you haven't already, Joe, and I'm going to plug you here, Joe's got a college football show called the 10-Second Runoff. It is awesome analysis and breakdown and updates, all kinds of anything you want to know about college football. That's your guy. Go check it out. It's on YouTube, the 10-Second Runoff. Yeah. Now you can continue.
And look, if you've heard about it from here, you know I'm an LSU fan. Yeah. On there, I'm not. I'm
right.
Unbiased. As unbiased as I can be. But all the homies say at the NCAA still.
If you're wondering what he's talking about, go check out last night's episode. Also got some really cool merch. NCAA needs help figuring out how to run an organization. Yeah. If you want more, go listen to the episode. Senior Bowl thoughts.
Yeah, first thoughts about the Senior Bowl is, you look at practice a couple days ago. Jordan Jefferson was getting chippy, throwing helmets. I love it. Didn't get to see as much of Jordan Jefferson this year that, we would have liked, or at least the value that we would have liked to get from him this year. But I'd love to see that dude shine in the Senior Bowl, and the same could be said about the center.
13 of the last 15 LSU players that went to the Senior Bowl were drafted. So pretty good numbers there for both guys. Hopefully can continue with that trend. Senior Bowl is always fun to watch. So good luck to those two. I know I've seen some there are jokes going around the internet about Charles Turner III. Should have been a corner for us this past season because there's a clip of him almost intercepting a pass. Somebody was like, Matt House is shaking right now knowing that anyway, it's a joke. It's funny. Also, do want to let y'all know that LSU has plus 1,200 odds to win the 2024 CFP title.
Yep, according to DraftKings, 5th in the nation.
What?
Tricky thing about that is it's 5th in the nation, but I want to say Georgia, Alabama, and Texas all have better odds. So 4th in the SEC. But
it's all right. We'll take plus 1,200.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. I like it. Everything that's happening. Also, I'm going to acknowledge this. We did say we were going to have an interview with Sage Ryan this week. Unfortunately, it fell through, but we will make sure that we are still bringing you guys great content, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, swim, whatever it may be. We're going to keep pushing out as much fun interactive, personable content to y'all, connecting with y'all in the community. We've got some great things planned for baseball season. So stick around. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like, comment, go on our socials and follow. Lots of big things headed y'all's way. Baseball. Speaking of baseball, we'll round out with it. D1 baseball named Tommy White, preseason first-team All-American, and Luke Holman, third-team. So Tommy led the country in RBI last year. He was third in total bases as well last season. Tommy Tanks. We know he had that huge moment against Wake Forest. Obviously, it makes sense for him to be on first-team preseason All-America. Transfer Luke Holman from Alabama. He had 31 appearances for Bama over the last 2 years. He had 111 strikeouts in 100 innings. Going to be a huge addition to the pitching staff this year. Excited. We are, 3 weeks out from opening day? 3? 2?
Yeah, I don't even think we're 3 weeks out.
It's February 1st. We're like 2.5.
Yeah.
They play VMI that Friday the 6th.
I believe it's the 16th, yeah.
Yeah. Woohoo! 2.5 weeks, y'all. And we're going to kick it up in high gear for baseball season. So, again, make sure you subscribe. We might be doing some more vlogs. I think we're going to bring the vlogs back for baseball season. We did it for football. Y'all loved them so much. We got a lot of good feedback. We might just have to bring them back. So, stick around. Hit the sub button. If y'all have any suggestions, questions, criticisms, make sure you hit the DMs. We love chopping it up with y'all. We will see y'all tomorrow.